Coming to you from the heart of downtown Frankfort, Kentucky, and presented by Pulliam Realty Group and Property Management, it's the Untitled Movie Talk Show with Chris Easterly and J.C. Karstner.
Hey, and welcome to Untitled Movie Talk Show. I'm Chris Easterly.
J.C. Karstner.
And we're two guys from Frankfort, Kentucky. We're both filmmakers, and we're doing this show just so that we can share with you some of our experiences. And each episode, we're going to have a special guest. So we're going to interview writers, actors, producers, directors, music composers, you name it.
Chris has been able to go out and catch some of the local folks and ask them for their views on a particular movie. So we asked them, did you love, what have you seen lately? Did you love it? Did you hate it? So yeah, so you want to check that out now? Let's go to
it. Seen the movie It, the new movie It. It's a great movie. My son, who just turned 5, he's a big fan of Pennywise. I don't let him watch it, but he gets a glimpse of it. But yeah, I checked out this one here, and yeah, I was one of those guys that was behind the pillow as a grown man. I'm sorry, I was behind the pillow a little bit on that. It had some scary moments.
So each episode, we're going to have a special guest, and today our very special guest is Angie Pulliam, and she is a Kentucky actress, and she played the lead in the movie Relict, which JC and I produced in 2017, little $5,000 micro budget.
Was it that much?
Yeah, indie feature film. It's $5,000 was the budget, but it looks like $10,000.
Yeah.
So
way up there.
But yeah, so anyway, she's an actress, a great person, and JC and her acted together in that film.
Yeah, we sure did. And when we started considering her for the part in Relic, it was just a slam dunk. That's the way to go. And she's worked in some other stuff with us, The Devil's Hollow.
Yeah,
teaser.
she was in a teaser.
Did a video with you.
She was in a teaser trailer for this film Devil's Hollow that we're trying to get produced, and yeah, and she was also in a music video for a local musician, Hybrid the Rapper, Chris Ballinger. Before we bring her in, let's take a quick look at a brief scene from Relict with Angie and JC.
Awesome.
Here we are with our special guest, Angie Pulliam.
AP!
A.K.A. Angela Alexander Pulliam, a.k.a. Rebecca Cutter from the movie Relict, which JC and I produced, and JC and Angie starred in. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm super excited.
Yeah. So you're a local Kentucky actress.
I am.
You've done film, theater, TV.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For like study acting, or you just kind of comes naturally?
I started out, the only thing I've ever done is I went to Images Talent and Model Agency in Lexington, and you have to take so many classes or whatever in order for them to put you on like their roster to send you out for gigs and stuff. So I took several classes there, which were helpful. But a lot of that stuff, really, I feel like I had already known because I'd been in so many plays all growing up in school and church, and then with the pageantry and all that stuff, all those things kind of prepared me for of course, it's never like you think it's going to be.
Talk about how we cast Angie for that.
You know, we just kind of went back and forth. You know,
Who's the
Thank
best
you.
person
Who?
we can think of that would be
I mean,
amazing?
initially, I just I mentioned Angie, and we're like,
You were such a lot.
We were like, she's too much of a diva.
Diva City. Homecoming, but nah, we can't go there. But no, we actually had Angie do a reading.
Yeah, you told me, you said, send me in something, anything. And, or no, you sent me a script, didn't you? Just a small,
You like a scene.
a scene,
Yeah.
and said, and it took me several hours before, I just did it with my phone camera, and I did it over and over and over, and I was like, I don't like any of these. And then finally I was like, all right, I'm just going to take a deep breath, just do it. And that was the one that I liked, and that was the one that I
Well, we
said.
all liked it.
Yeah, we watched it, and you were like almost crying in it. I think
I was crying in that scene,
and-
but then come to find out I was dead.
Right.
So it's like, I don't think a dead person has that many emotions.
Context for the scene, yeah. Well, I remember the thing when JC and I watched it. The cool thing was like, I wrote the script, and so when I saw your reading of it, I hadn't imagined it like that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool because it was like, oh, but clearly like she gets it and she can do this. And one thing I like as a writer and a director is to see what actors bring to what I wrote, which I hadn't imagined, which I hadn't planned, because a lot of times they make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that's what I,
The
did.
movie we'll be talking about in a second, which Chris and I are doing in this episode's Bird Book.
Bird Box.
Bird Box. See, the title's still getting me. I was thinking
Bird Book is the sequel.
Birdcage, Robin Williams,
It wasn't-
Bloodsport with John Van Damme, and just But-
So what do you think of that movie?
The first time it was okay. I wasn't like, I wasn't rushing to see it again. But today I watched it again, and I really liked it better. So I think watching it for the second time, it was better. Of course, you have to be in a state of mind where anything can go. But I wanted to see that being or that thing come to fruition, but it just never did.
I'm with you on
There's
that.
still
yeah.
questions of, I want to see what it looks like,
Yeah. Did you ever see A Quiet Place?
Yes.
It was similar. Like you didn't see. Eventually, they showed the creatures, but it was more like you just sensed them. You didn't know where they were.
Yeah. But I think Sandra Bullock really, she pulls that movie,
Yeah.
She's, of course, a wonderful, talented actress and, an A-list actor. And I don't know that it would have been as intriguing had they had anybody else do that. She was really good in it, and she was one of the reasons why I liked it so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were just some things about it that you just kind of have. I think what you're going for, suspend your disbelief, and the simultaneous births at one time there. A group of 10 people, and you have 2 births,
Right.
at the same moment, that sort of thing. But all in all, I enjoyed it. We have a rating system.
Mm-hmm.
Real bad is the worst. Sort of real is like a 2-star. Real good like a 3. 4 real like a 4-star.
The first time I probably would have given it a 2, but I think the second time watching it, I would have given it a 3. I liked it.
So
Yeah.
A real good.
Real good.
Yeah, you have to, like you said, it's one of those movies you have to sit and watch and focus and give all your attention to it. Of course, I have a million kids, so that's not always so easy for me.
It's fun, Angie. I enjoy you on the set. I enjoy being in scenes
Well,
with you.
I really enjoyed
I'm
working
glad
with you all, and I hope to do it again. And thank you for inviting me here. This was a lot of fun.
It's been our
So.
pleasure. for
Yeah,
sure.
thanks. He is a writer, a director, an editor, a musician. Travis Brown.
Yo, what's up?
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Glad I could be on with you guys, man.
Yeah.
Good to talk to you again from cross country with yourself out in LA and us in the bluegrass.
Tell us, how does a guy from Delaware land in Hollywood?
Man, it's been a long journey. I started out way back in 2001, and I started pursuing and just network and meet people. Of course, I went to film school.
So, did you always want to make movies as a kid and stuff?
Not really. My dad, I credit. I've always had a love for film. My dad, when I was younger, he had these VHS tapes, the old school VCR tapes, and he would record like 3 or 4 movies on one. And I would that's kind of how I got my love for film. And I actually grew up in a converted, it was an apartment building, but it used to be the old movie theater that was converted into an apartment. So I guess you can kind of say that's destiny, I guess.
Is it the Twin Cities Black Film Festival? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Twin Cities Black Film Festival is located in, I think it's Minneapolis, Minnesota. They're in their 17th year. The Norwalk Witness is an official selection in that festival. It's a pretty good, decent-sized festival.
Fantastic.
I think it'll give us a lot of exposure. We'll get to meet and network with a lot of people this weekend, so we're really looking forward to it.
And you've already won some awards for that, right?
Yeah, the Norwalk Witness, we won 4 awards. I actually just won my first directing award through I think it's the Independent Shorts Awards.
Okay.
Nice.
Festival we won.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it was my first directing award, so I'm very excited about that. Yeah, that was an accomplishment. We won Best Ensemble and some other awards as well for that. So we're excited about that for sure. Yeah. So,
Hey, speaking of blockbusters or not blockbusters, I know you saw Gemini Man, and we both saw Gemini Man. What'd you think?
Yeah.
It was weak, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was just CGI was terrible. For one, it was terrible. The story was a little, in my opinion, it was a little far fetched. Obviously, the script. I think there's a reason why the script was passed around for like 20 years. You know what I mean? And I just think they didn't execute on it, in my opinion. So I don't know what you think, bro.
Well, of course, we're reviewing it in this episode. I was rolling with it fine. I thought the cinematography was really nice. The sound of it had a good soundtrack, and it had some stop eating my popcorn moments, but when
when young Will Smith shows up, it just kind of takes you out of it.
Yeah,
it's kind of weak, bro. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's
Well, the thing is, it's like they didn't do enough to develop his character, so you don't really care what happens to him. But also, like, when you look at his face, it doesn't matter how far like technology has come. I think the human eye can still detect when something's not quite real.
Yeah.
And his face just, I don't know, especially compared to the real Will Smith, it just looked fake.
Just couldn't.
Yeah, like a cartoon almost.
Yeah.
Ants cartoon.
Yeah.
I think if they'd done a little less of that, it may have worked, but they just tried to go too far with that character.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's too bad because like Ang Lee, brilliant director, made one of the best action movies of all time, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah,
and like the action in Gemini Man was good, but if you don't have a good story, then it doesn't matter.
Next thing I got next year, this will be the first time I actually made this public. I just do it on y'all's show. I'm directing my first feature film next year. I won't share what it is yet, but I'll just put it out there. We are just about done with the first draft to the script. Me and my writing partner, Bella Dante, I got to give her a shout out.
Can you tell us, is it a drama, comedy, action?
Sort of a crime drama, written by myself and my writing partner, Bella Dante. She's going to be also the lead actress in it as well. We are planning on casting a bigger name in some of the other roles. this is my first time giving y'all the exclusive. I haven't made this
All right.
public yet, so
All right.
Now
y'all
you-
still gets the exclusive.
Untitled gets the scoop.
Yeah.
And it's going to be self-financed by myself. I'm currently actually saving the funds right now.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Well, you're a keyboard and voice guy. Are you going to drop some of your own music? Have you ever?
Yeah, I might write. I am a keyboard player, musician. I sing as well. At some point, I might write my own music every on iTunes. I don't consider myself an artist in that respect. To like just put out like multiple tracks of music on iTunes or wherever. Mostly play at my church, praise and worship. But I do write music as well. So at some point, I might put out a couple of tracks just on iTunes.
I mean, do you think you'd ever drop one in a movie you're working on?
Possibly. I might score a little song.
There we go.
What happened to me is once I get to a certain level, I can just kind of give the basic melody to a team of people I got, and just kind of let them run with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give them the basics. I mean, that's what I did when I was doing theater back in Delaware. I kind of, with my musician that I worked with, I would just kind of like give him the basic chords and melody, and he would just basically compose the whole song based on the basic format that I give him. So I think that's kind of the route I'll go.
Okay.
Once I get to that level, yeah.
So where can people find you? Where can they find out?
Social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, at Travis Brown Official. That's my first, last name, and then official on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, so definitely hit me up on there for sure.
Glad
All
you
right,
were-
man. We'll let you go, but thanks for being on our show.
Thanks, guys, again for having me. I appreciate it, brothers.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, bud.
All right, take care, man. All right.
All right.
Hey, here we are at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's Veterans Day. Sluggers. I'm here with Dr. Patterson of Capital City Christian Church, a very learned speaker and all-knower of the Bible and teachings. My dad, who's a retired minister, absolutely loves what he has to say. You've seen Midway, and I think in this episode, if it works out, we'll be talking about Midway and doing a little review on that, just as part of a Veterans Day theme. So, kind of just did you enjoy Midway? Was it what you expected?
Yeah, well, I can remember the old Midway, you know, and the classic one, and you can't watch this one without kind of comparing it to that one. It was a good movie. We enjoyed it. Been looking forward to it coming for a long time. Like a good war film. That was a lot of fun. We thought it was a bit slow. A little slow in building.
To Untitled Movie Talk Show. I'm your host, J.C. Karshner. My co-host, Chris Easterly, is preparing to be wed in 2 days, so could not join us in studio, but we do have in studio our sponsor, my broker, and my friend, William R. Pulliam III. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Rick was in our movie Relic. Big scene. Major scene. There's no dialogue involved, but it was myself, Rick, and another realtor colleague, friend of ours, Mike Barnes, was in it as well. Like I say, there's no dialogue, but it's a strong scene, and we just call it the look. Rick drops a look in there. Watch for it. Let's go ahead and go to that. about one of your favorite military movies, or what you like to see in a movie like that?
Well, there's so many great ones, and Full Metal Jacket. I mean, we can go to all these ones that are hard and in your face, and then of course we've got Major Payne, and we've got Stripes, and a little more comedy, making fun of some of the military and kind of our ways. But
well, in one of the interviews we talked about drill sergeants, and you just named a couple. Full Metal Jacket. That drill sergeant was just incredible. I can't remember the actor's name. He had his own TV show after that and whatnot. But Major Payne was a classic for me. But drill sergeants can be a really interesting character in the movie, and it just I thought Full Metal Jacket was incredible.
And the way I look at the Full Metal Jacket, I mean, we hear all these stereotypes about drill sergeants and their strack uniform and their perfect flat head, and the perfect brim on the hat, and just in your face and just wearing you out the whole time. And they're supposed to break you down and build you back up. And at the end of the 8 to 12 weeks, whatever it might be, in basic training, you're supposed to be more of a team. And
well, I'll tell you what, when
it works, it really works.
Hey,
it is tough.
I was just heck out of Kentucky when I went to boot camp in Orlando, Florida. First time I had 2 drill sergeants, get up in my face. I was like, oh, what's going on here? Hey.
What grabbed me the most and what's the most honest is the beginning of Saving Private Ryan.
Boom.
And the soldiers are getting in the U-boats. They know exactly what's happening. Shots are ringing around. You see people, unfortunately, getting killed right there. But it's so fast and in your face. And within 2 minutes, you're just on the edge of your seat. It's almost like your heart's beating so fast. And we actually know pretty much what's going to happen. I mean, we're watching a historical movie for the most part, and we're pulling for these characters so much that at the end of it, I mean, you're just sitting there. And so it's just such a striking movie to know that the Saving Private Ryan, they're trying to save the final Ryan boy because the other ones had already been killed in action. And it's just a tearjerker. It's so honest, it's truthful, and
honest.
It's just it's almost gory and too descriptive at times.
Yeah, some people might view it as too graphic, but I think we'd agree it's truthful.
It's
more
realistic.
than graphic. Yeah, realistic
unfortunately, it's that bad in war. Now, I haven't seen that part of it, but we both know that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But no, that's probably my favorite.
Hey everybody, welcome to Untitled Movie Talk Show. I'm Chris.
I'm JC.
And we're here back for our reboot. We did a couple episodes a couple months ago and kind of working out some technical glitches, but I think we have a fun show for you today. Have a cool special guest. We have Mr. Russ Hatter.
The Mad Hatter.
Who is a local historian, actor, author, and just a great guy, and he's going to share his thoughts on Joker with us today.
Well, I'd not had the privilege of meeting you until we were shooting Relic. But Russ and I, we sat down there together across from each other, and believe it or not, your battery ran short.
My camera battery ran out. So
his nickname's Charger. I call him Charger because he can't keep
I can't charge my battery.
he can't keep his camera batteries charged. So Chris had to rush out. So it's just first time I've met Russ. We just sat across from each other, and I really got to know him, and just thought, this fascinating guy. Our conversation just kicked right off, and we talked until you came back. We were ready to shoot, and we went about it, and it's one of my favorite scenes in Relic. And it was just an honor to
be in that with you, Russ, and that's why I really like having you visit us here in studio with us.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Joker, because this is
Joker.
this is kind of a Joker themed episode, and
I finally saw it.
Came out in the fall, and now nominated for multiple Oscars: Best Picture, Joaquin Phoenix, Best Actor as Joker.
Dad was going to Walmart, and I was like, Dad, go to Redbox at Walmart and pick up Joker for me. I've got to see it, so I just watched it like last night.
Okay.
Oh, great.
So
fresh.
Yeah, it is very fresh.
The film itself, Joaquin, without a doubt, folks, he's going to win the Best Oscar award.
I agree with that.
I really think
Great
that's
performance.
a dead
I think
giveaway.
Joaquin, he deserved it in Gladiator. I think he earned it and walked the line. So, and I think that's kind of why he went off in hiatus. He kind of disappeared. He just kind of went.
Well, he was
kinda-
up for the Master or something.
The
like
Master
that.
as well,
the
yeah.
Master. He's got a strange body. I
He does.
noticed it in the Master.
He's got
There's
this shoulder
something
thing.
about
He's
his-
got
yeah,
the shoulder
and his
thing.
Ribs.
I first
But
noticed that in Gladiator.
He uses that like as part of
Yeah.
his performance,
He does.
which he really does in Joker, because you see this. He lost all this weight, and he's this sort of emaciated guy, but it contributes to the sort of creepiness of the whole performance.
Well, the film has so many different levels to it. To me, in my experience, it's about a man who has mental problems, but it originated perhaps genetically. His mother. You have child abuse. You have bullying that occurs in the film. You have his breakdown, which it just flows throughout that entire film to the very end. And it's just an amazing film. I do think there may be another Oscar for it, for the music.
Yeah,
Well, it has 11 nominations.
It's 11 nominations,
Okay.
but I don't think a lot of those have come through.
But
Maybe director.
I think you're right. The music
The
really.
music was incredible.
Music was almost a character in the movie. In terms of how it helped tell the story.
Right.
Yeah. We have a 4-tiered rating system. So the first is
Real bad.
real bad, which is like 1 star. Then we have
Sort of real.
sorta real, which is like a 2-star movie. It's fine. It's not great.
Real good.
Real good, which is like 3 stars. It's a solid movie. And then we have
4 real.
4 real, which is like
I mean,
a
the blockbuster.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
So I would say for me, Joker is not for everybody. It's a dark movie, but I would give it a 4 real. I think it's, for what it is, I think it's a great film. Again, not for everybody, but
Yeah. It took me a little bit with the movie. It's very interesting. I don't know. I can't go for real. I gotta stick with a real good.
what do you think knocks it down a notch for you?
I don't know. It was almost, for me personally. I mean, I love artistic work, but I just think the movie became too artistic, for me. I think, I like entertainment value, which for me.